Welcome to MPUNGWE-PUNGWE YouTube channel. Subscribe for you to enjoy more of our videos anytime we upload.
He had a layover of 2 nights from Friday, 7th June 2024 up to Sunday, 9th June 2024. Since he was spending 2 nights in South Africa, it is a practice in the office of the Vice President that an advance team is sent to that place 2 days in advance to do the logistics and book accommodation for the Vice President. And I was part of that team that traveled to South Africa to do the logistics and welcome him from South Korea. The late Vice President left Johannesburg for Lilongwe on Sunday, 9th June 2024. And as already said, for me, I came back on 10th June. That was on a Monday, 2024. On Saturday, 8th June 2024, the late Vice President informed me of the death of late Ralph Kasambala, and he told me that he would have loved to attend the burial ceremony. Honorable Chairperson and the honorable committee members, on this same day, the 10th June, when the burial ceremony day, 10th June 2024, that's the same day, His Excellency, the former President, Dr. Lazarus Makathi Chakwera, was traveling to Bahamas. So he told me that he would not go to attend the funeral, but instead he will see off the president in the afternoon when he will be going to Bahamas. And on that same day, he also told me that since I'm not going to attend the burial, I will tell my Madam Mary Chilima, to represent me at the funeral. So what you have to do is ensure that you fuel the vehicles there so that they leave on Monday morning for Nkata Bay. I informed the Undersecretary, Mr. Nkoma, Alfred Nkoma, that he should make logistics for Madam Chilima to travel to the funeral in Nkata Bay on Monday. Those logistics were done whilst I was in South Africa. And on Monday, Madam Chilima did not travel to Nkata Bay. The reasons I was not given. Honorable Chairperson and honorable committee members, the issues that were raised, or the interaction that I had with the Vice President was on 8th June. And on 9th June at the airport, he did not tell me that time there was Dr. Lake Squese, who was the principal secretary. So most of the issues, they were related to the principal secretary since they were traveling together. I just escorted him to the airport and then came back to the hotel. So on that event, on the chronological events, maybe I would submit like that. On the role that I played concerning the Vice President program on 10th June, honorable committee members, honorable chairperson and honorable committee members, as already explained, the rest Vice President told me that he was not going to attend the burial ceremony of late Ralph Kasambala on 10th. Me, that the late Vice President wanted to go and attend the burial ceremony of late Ralph Kasambala in Nkata Bay. He informed me that he was advised by the late Vice President to charter a Malawi Defense Force plane. And by that time, the indication that the plane was not at the price. Are you going to manage to do all those things within a day? Missing. And that was around 2 o'clock when we arrived at Chirega. So I was shocked. And I felt like, I thought he was not going to attend the burial. So honorable chairperson and honorable committee members, that is the role I played. And possibly my principal secretary, Dr. Lake Squese, will provide the chronological events on the 9th of June 2024, since he was here in Malawi. I therefore submit, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Committee members. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yesaya. Can you confirm what was your position at that time? You're currently the Principal Secretary in the VP's office. At that time, what was your position?
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Committee members. My position then was Principal Secretary, Administration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Members, I open the floor, seeking further clarifications. This time I'll start from the fine, coming this side. Dowa Kasangaze.
Thank you very much, Chair, for giving the people of Dowa Kasangaze a chance to ask questions to the witness. I only have one question. You have indicated in your presentation that when there is need for air transport, it is the office of the Vice President that charters the plane. Do you confirm that?
Next question, Blanta Malabada.
Honorable Chair, I don't have a question for the witness. I just want to request, if possible, we could have a copy of the presentation Mr. Isai is presenting. Thank you.
Mlanje Lilongo Mude.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairperson. Just to buttress, I have the same request as Marabada about the presentation itself. It will help us. But I want to ask the PS if you have seen any documentation after coming back from South Africa, if you saw any documentation about the request, the memo, the procuring of the aircraft itself. If you have seen any documentation and the dates at which on which those documentations were actually made, requesting the aircraft to the President and also to the MDF. And do you have any documentation on the logistics that were done for Madam Mary Chilima to attend the funeral on behalf of the Vice President? Chair, at this point, let me ask just those two questions. Thank you.
You may proceed to answer those questions.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Committee members. On the first one, just to confirm, maybe it would be better for me to explain how the travel arrangements are made for the Vice President locally or internationally, especially on the procurement of planes, air tickets. The Secretary to the Vice President is responsible for facilitating the travel of the State Vice President locally or internationally. Before any travel of the State Vice President, the Secretary to the Vice President discusses the possible avenues of travel with the principal, meaning the Vice President himself. Then the principal approves the mode of travel that he or she would like to undertake on a particular trip. This becomes a directive to be implemented. Local travel is undertaken by road using the official motorcade. And in that case, the guard commander, who is the head of security, informs all the heads of regional and district police stations on the route that the State Vice President will travel. And an advance vehicle is also sent by the office to assess the route, including the place that he is going to visit. Sometimes the principal's approval for local travels to be undertaken by air. Mostly, I think the late Vice President used to travel to Blantyre by air. And on that one, we would also secure air tickets as we normally do the normal procurement procedure that is done in the government. This principal secretary has to initiate the necessary logistics by procuring the air tickets from the commercial airline or charter an aircraft from Malawi Defense Forces. And it's only in special occasions or circumstances that we have been, and especially we have been chartering the MDS plane because of the agency and the like, but mostly when he's going to Blantyre, mostly he was using the Malawian airline. So in that case, the motorcade is divided into two sections, one to escort the principal to the departing airport, and the other one at the destination of to welcome him. When the vice president is traveling internationally, the principal secretary gets different travel itineraries to the final destination, and before procuring the final ticket, he has to approve it. Otherwise, he's the one that determines the route that you want to use. So that's the procedure or the practice that we use. I hope that is clear. Yeah, for the second, I think that was just, they wanted a copy. I will submit this copy, a hard copy and a soft copy to the Clerk of Parliament. And the third issue that has been raised is on the memo. Did I see any memo? Did I see any documentation regarding this trip? Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Committee members, I did not see any memo regarding the trip to Mzuzu. What I saw and is available is the quotation from the Malawi Defense Force and the manifest. That was what I saw. But for the memorandum to His Excellency the President, that one, no, I did not see it. And the other one, on documentation regarding the logistics for Madam Mary Chilima, on that one, I did not see any documentation because that time, as I said, I was in South Africa. What I did was to make a WhatsApp call to the Undersecretary, Mr. Alfred Nkoma, to do the logistics. I did not even write, I just called, informing him that he should do refuel the vehicles and make necessary arrangements at the Zuzu Hotel so that at least when she will be returning from Katape, she can spend the night at the Zuzu Hotel and return back to Lilongwe on the 11th of June 2024. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson.
Would you also be able to share with us the manifest that you have on file?
Honorable Chairperson, that will be provided. I also submit together with this one today. Yeah. Thank you.
Any follow-up questions? Mwanza Central, then we come back to Dezemayani and Zomba Tondwe.
Thank you very much, Chair. Mr. Isaiah, you were en route to Malawi the time the plane announcement, the announcement that the plane is missing was made. I just want to find out from you if your memory can recall at what time or when did you hear about the death of the late Dr. Saulos Chilima? That's my first question. My second question is, when the PS communicated to you or told you that the VP was going to attend burial, and you were told, he was told to arrange to charter a plane, you were hesitant on the time that you were told. Do you recall what time exactly were you told about that? And under normal circumstances, how long does it take to process procurement of service of chartered plane from MDF. Chair, I'll have follow-up questions, but for now, let me stop there.
That's Mayana.
Thank you very much, Chair. The PS, Mr. PS, I just wanted to know if you can highlight a few examples where you charted the plane and under what circumstances. And according to your submission, you say there has always been a memo between the Office of the PS and the Office of the President. If at all, in any of such occasions, if you can give us 2 or 3, which you may remember, if at all in one of those occasions, maybe you did not have all the documentation, such as the memo. I'm asking that question because I'm understanding the challenge that we are having in the current times, where people sometimes start to use phones, WhatsApp and all any other means, emails and all that, other means of communication for urgent or other important matters, which in principle is a departure from the stipulated way of communicating officially in the government of Malawi. But we have to understand such communications are being done on important matters. So I just wanted to know if you may recall an occasion where you had to charter the plane, but you did not have a complete documentation, but the trip actually took place. Thank you very much, Chair.
Mulanje.
Just a supplementary on the issue of record keeping. Would you advise in the office who is charged with custody of documents? You've referred to a number of documents, memos, quotations, and the like. So, in your office, who is in charge of the custody of these important documents? Thank you.
Sombatonda.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, through you, I would just like to request Mr. Isaiah to confirm if the chartering of the military aircraft cannot be done without the knowledge of the Commander-in-Chief. That's number one, just to confirm. Number two, I wanted to confirm with him, through you, Chair, if previously there have been cases where chartering of planes has been done verbally or under instructions from maybe the Commander-in-Chief or the VP himself, without any written documentation, which somehow links with the Zamayani. I submit, Chair.
Somba. City South.
Thank you so much, Chair. Mine is relating to the procedure of procuring the services of the flight. If I recall what you have said, Mr. Isaiah, you said the requesting office originates a memo to the President for authority. After that, when the authority is granted, the office writes MDF requesting for the flight, and then MDF will send you a quote. After the quote, it means you now pay. I'm reading the Commission of Inquiry report on page 19, and it's written there that you told the Commission of Inquiry then that this practice had changed. Please confirm if you mentioned this to the Commission of Inquiry. Chair, I submit.
Mr. Isaiah, you have a lot on your table, a lot of questions. Can you take those questions?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Committee members. I will start with the question. Now, when did I hear the death and or at what time? As I already indicated in my submission, I said that I heard about the death of late Vice President, or the missing plane of late Vice President when we arrived at Chireka International Airport. In that plane, I was traveling, there was also Mr. Moses Ntakoma, and Mr. Moses Ntakoma came to me and said, "Can you open your phone if it's off?" Then I said, "Why?" Then he started crying there, "Just open." So whilst I was doing that, you know, he drew an attention of a lot of people there in the plane. Then after a few minutes, Captain Mazi was the one who was in charge of that flight. He came from the cockpit and he came to me and told me, "Have you heard anything about the Vice President?" I said, "No, I'm just hearing it from you." I said, "No, but tell your friend he should stop crying because it's so disturbing me. This is the news that I've just received when I was touching down here." So that's the time that I heard about that. Then I opened my phone, then there were all sorts of information coming from that end, anyway, from the social media and the like. But I had no strength to go further because I was shocked at that particular time. And the other question that I've been asked is, at what time did I hear that he was traveling to, he has changed and will be traveling to Nkata Bay? The communication I received from the Principal Secretary was in the evening of the 9th, around 6. That's when I received communication from him that the Vice President would like to travel to Nkata Bay by a chartered plane. And the other question is the procurement of chartered. How long does it take? Well, as I've already said, when there's an event and there's that intention of, or there was that intention of hiring a plane, we would normally deploy a memo to the president. And it's him or the principal who signs for that memo. So we wait, we don't proceed, we wait up until that memo has been authorized. That's when we start. So it can take a day, 2 or so. But sometimes he would remind the principal because of, he would remind the president that he has deployed that one and he wanted an answer on that, on the memo that has been deployed. But we would proceed once we get an authorization from the head of state. I've also been asked about examples when VP memos, those memos are there, and I'll give you an example. We had hired the aircraft to convey him to Karonga at one time. We have hired the MDS to convey him to Mangochi, and those memos are there, and we will provide if necessary, including all the written correspondence that we have been having with our colleagues from the Malawi Defense Force. So I also been asked who is in charge of those specific documents. These documents are confidential, and mostly it's the Secretary to the Vice President who keeps them. They don't go to the registry. They are kept by the Secretary to the Vice President in his office. All document, the memos, including the quotations, of course, that's the one which can go to the accounts, but those memos, requests, they're kept by the Secretary to the Vice President. And the other question was to confirm whether the commander-in-chief is aware that the plane is being chartered by or is going to be used by the vice president. Our office cannot charter a plane from Malawi Defense Force without the knowledge of the commander-in-chief himself. So, as I said, the first thing is to inform the commander-in-chief that the principal would like to use the plane. Once he authorizes, that's when we do now the office work ourselves and the commander. And that, to my knowledge, I don't think that has been done verbally. Since I assumed my office in that office of the Vice President, it hasn't been done verbally, not to my knowledge. And the last one is the procedure for procuring the flight, and in that commission of inquiry, they said the practice had changed. Well, anyway, we were not furnished and with the information they did not verify. But to say that the practice changed, no, this is the practice that we have been using. Because at the commission of inquiry, we don't know, because they were supposed to check facts with us as well, much as it was. But I didn't even know the report that it was indicating that. Otherwise, I could have gone there and tell them that, no, this is the practice that we have been following. Thank you, Chair.
Supplementary, Chair.
You may proceed with a supplementary.
Mr. Isaiah, in other words, you are telling this committee that what is written in the Commission of Inquiry report under your name, where you said to the Commission that the practice has changed, is not true. You know, you didn't say that. Can you confirm?
Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Committee members, I can't remember having said that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Another follow-up. You have also mentioned some memos, and you have referred to a memo to Karonga, a memo to Mangochi. These were also mentioned in the report, but they say there's no proof. At that point, there was no proof of the memos. You have just told the chairperson that you can bring that proof to his committee. Can you confirm?
Yes, I can confirm on that one. I've got those memos.
Thank you.
Chair, my question was not responded.
Okay,
One of the questions.
Central.
Yeah, one question was not, I think I should ask again, because I asked about the death, not the incident, not the missing of the plane, but the death. When did you hear about the death? First time. But also, Chair, I wanted to ask if you can give me just 1 minute. I want to ask 3 questions that are, the other questions will be like follow-up questions, depending on how he responds, if that is allowed.
You have the floor.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so first question is about the death. When did you hear about the death of SKC?
Sorry, you can
But that one you can respond it later. But these are the other questions, the ones that I want you to respond. Yeah. You have been with the Vice President. I think you were with the Vice President for so long. Did you attend funerals with him? Did he attend funerals? And you were you were part of the entourage?
Thank you very much, Chairperson and Honorable Committee members. Yes, the Vice President has been attending funerals, and I was part of the entourage that accompanied him in those visits.
Thank you very much. Was that any funerals that you attended that he was delegated by the President?
Yeah, there are certain funerals, but I can't recall which ones because we have been traveling many, and it's quite a while.
Thank you very much. I just want to know the practice. Was the condolence money given to him in cash? At any of the funerals you attended?
Honorable Chairperson and honorable committee members, since we have been attending these funerals, there has never been a time that the late Vice President took condolences from the head of state. Normally, if he has been delegated to attend that funeral, the special advisors from the head of state also attend and are the ones who are given that condolences.
Thank you very much. Are you aware of any condolence money that came from the president for this particular funeral of the late Ralph Kasambara?
Honorable Chairperson and honorable committee members, I was told that on the 10th of June, when he was leaving, there was a condolence that was given. And it was, I'm told that it was about 5 million, but nobody saw the amount of money, including the one who received the money. I understand it didn't open and check the money, but it was 5 million. That was the figure that I was told. Thank you.
Last question. So in your, the way you've responded, this was the first time for the head of state to give condolence money to the vice president in cash?
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, that was the first time.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chair.
Nchewu Nzozimvai, and then Kadabe North, and we'll come to Dezagasino.
Thank you so much, Chair, for giving this chance, the people of Nchewu Nzozimvai constituency, to ask a question to Mr. Eliki Esaya from the Office of the Vice President of the Republic of Malawi. Good morning, Mr. Esaya. Let me take this opportunity to say thank you so much for all you have shared with this committee. I have two questions. I need your explanation. According to your explanation, you told this committee that on the 8th June 2024, the former Vice President told you that he's going to attend the funeral of the late Kasambara in Kadabe. I would like to know if the former Vice President told you the list or number of people he planned to be part and parcel of this trip, of his trip. Secondly, I would also like to appreciate how was the passenger list developed in the office of the Vice President in terms of traveling in and outside the country. Thank you.
Kadabe North.
Thank you, Chair, for giving me the. I've got one question to Mr. Esaya. I understand that you have been with the Vice President for so long, right? Therefore, did you, as a person, after the death of the late Vice President, did you do any research as to why the arrangement changed at the last time of him going to the funeral? Any arrangement which was done at last time, last minute, which you was being told that the president has changed, instead of going his wife, and then he decided to go by himself. So as a person who you was been working with him for quite a long time, have you ever done any research? Why did this happen? Thank you.
Thanks so much, Chair. Good morning, PS. Mine are just follow-up questions from what my brother from Gaza Center asked. In your response, you said the guy, you used the word, if I quote right, the guy who received it didn't even open the envelope, just submitted, I think, to the Vice President.
Now, can you help this committee to towards this guy, the name of this guy? Which guy? Who received the money? Because you didn't mention the name. And the Mother Center was asking the money, the previous arrangements, was it coming from the president? So he said no. So I don't understand this money. Does it come really from the president or office of president and cabinet? And the type of a funeral, the state funeral or the other, the different type of funerals, I think, which the vice presidency can attend under delegations or as a vice president. The state's funeral or the former cabinet ministers, where does the condolence money come from? From the president, where he will send the special advisors, or the office of the president cabinet? Like this 5 million, where did it come from? The last one, I think I'll not come in because Cheo Mvai has asked about I think the manifesto of the people who were supposed to be in that flight. So unless you don't tackle it right, I might come in, but I submit, Chair.
Mr. Isaiah, you may proceed to answer.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Committee members. I will start with you say on 10th June, on 8th June? Yeah, let me explain that. On 8th June, the conversation that I had with the late Vice President was he informed me about the funeral of late Raf Kasambala, and he told me that he would have loved to go and attend the burial ceremony. But since His Excellency, the former State President, was traveling to Bahamas, he was not going to attend that burial ceremony. Instead, he was going to see off the president off to Bahamas. He did not indicate that he was going. He said he would have loved to go and attend the burial ceremony. And I've used the word, that's what he said. I would have loved to go and attend the burial ceremony of late Raf Kasambala. However, since His Excellency is traveling, I have to see him off there. I'll just send Madam Mary Chilima to represent me and do the logistics for her to travel to Kadabe. That's what he said. On the list of people, that one, it was prepared, that was on, I think Sunday, if not Monday. I was just told that the list, there were just two, then there was the first one, then there was the second one. So that one I will furnish the committee, the manifest, because I was also provided, that was on, was it Tuesday? That's when it's the full list after the tragic incident. And the other issue is, I've been asked, did you conduct research or what? On an incident as a human being, you also need to find out why has this happened. And for me, still up to until today, I still have questions. Who contacted him that he should go to attend the funeral? That one I'm also blank. And we were told that the flight or the MDF plane was hired by the family, and it was not available. It was in Zuzu, and the one who said, no, the plane is there, and we don't know. For me, I don't know. I'm also blank on that one, but I had questions, and some of the stories just coming, but I cannot, maybe I would say those stories that were coming, no, it's because of, he received a phone call from this gentleman that it was a must that he should go and attend. Then I said, no, but procedurally, we're supposed to follow the procedures for hiring the plane. And for me, he told me that he was not going to attend. So on that one, I also have a lot of questions and unanswered as well. And I was asked about the one who received the money. It was the personal secretary, Irene Gangire. That's the one who received the money in the morning. That's the one who received the money, the envelope. And she said it has come from State House, not OPC. That's what I was told that time. I think those are the questions. Thank you.
I'll allow more questions. We're about to wind up, so I'll give members one more question.
Point of order,
Yes, go on.
I don't know. My point of order is that the other question, Chair, I wasn't responding. My last question connected to the condolences as to what has been the procedure before the difference of state funeral, whether it's a former cabinet minister, if the vice president is an attendance, has gone to attend, as Mwaza Sento asked, that he has gone before in other funerals, and the money will be given directly by special advisors. So I was saying these monies were personally from the president or office of president and cabinet, because it's a former cabinet minister. These monies were coming from direct from the president as a person or of the office. That one was not tackled, Chair. So
can you respond that before I allow the last questions?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Committee members. Normally, the monies for condolence, I would say, in our case, they were coming from the office of the Vice President. If he has been delegated to attend a funeral, the Vice President will condole, and there would also be monies from State House and announced at the funeral. On state funerals and the like, it's expected that monies should come from office of the President and Cabinet. I hope.
Point of order, Chair. There's still that question that has not been responded to.
What was your question again?
I wanted to know at what time or when was Mr. Isaiah informed about the death of the late SKC?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Well, I was informed of the incidents on what? On 9th? On the 10th. On the 10th, in the afternoon, around 2 at Chireka. That was the incident. And I came back to Lilongwe. And from the airport, I went straight to the office. I didn't go back home. I went straight to the office. From the office there, I met the principal secretary. And then we left the office, and I went to the house of the late Vice President. We stayed there for quite some time. At that particular time, like anybody else, we were just waiting to hear the news. And we were hoping that maybe with the rescue team, they would be found alive. So we waited there on that day up until we went to sleep. Until in the morning when we received official communication that the bodies have been found lifeless. Yeah. Thank you.
No, but she has to answer. You received official communication. How did you get to know?
It's through the TVs and the radios, because it's like we're just glued to the TVs and hearing information, but not official from like OPC or no, on that one, no.
That's all, Chair, from me.
Can he confirm the dates on the hearing that the plane is missing and the date about the announcement of the death? Just confirm the dates.
Yeah, the announcement of the death, that was on the 11th? But on the 10th, that's when they were doing that rescue mission. So on the 11th, that's when we were told formally.
Sombatonda?
Thank you so much, Chair. Chair, just to ask him in his line of duty, because we are told that this was the first time you experienced the State House giving condolences through the Vice President.
This was your first time, you confirm?
Yes, I confirm.
And number two, you also have told this committee that this was your first time to learn that a plane can be chartered by the VP without paperwork, which you have never seen in your office. Chair, these are strange things in my view, and I would expect in your line of duty to have made some follow-ups within your line of duty, not your personal opinion. And I would love to check if at all he has attempted officially to try and get answers to these two, because as he has said, this was the first time he has come across this strange arrangement. I submit, Chair.
Planter Malabara.
Thank you very much, Chair. I've got 3 questions. Mr. Isaiah, you said that your office would be responsible as an advanced team. Was that advanced team ever in liaison with security agencies to ensure that when the Vice President occupied a vicinity, that vicinity was secure? Number 2, you were very close with the Vice President, the late, you mentioned. Would you be aware of any friends he had in the MDF? Number 3, since you would procure the services of the military aircraft, had your office ever made the attempt to ensure that the aircrafts were safe for travel for the Vice President? Thank you.
You may respond.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Committee members. The first one is, did I do or check, since everything I said is like the first time, and did I check and verify why this happened? I tried to check, and there's no proper answer that I got, because I had to check with the Principal Secretary why this has happened and who called him to travel to Nkata Bay. But that one is still blank. And on advanced team with the security, normally when the Vice President is traveling, the advanced team goes there with the security. There are a number of security personnel there, plus the administrators. So we travel with security to ensure that the place that is going, it's safe and he can travel. And we report back normally before he leaves about the situation to the place that he's going. And another question is on in that plane, were there any friends of him? No, there was no friend of him. They were all officers working in that flight.
My question was within the MDF. Within the MDF, does he have any personal friends?
Yeah, he had friends in the MDF. He had friends in the MDF, sir. Honorable.
There's a question you haven't answered, the last one, about the safety of the aircrafts. Yeah, so maybe just to expound on that. So you were handling the office of the Vice President. And obviously, I'm not too sure whether safety was a key issue. Apart from his convenience and luxury life that he needed to be exposed to. But I wanted to find out, were you comfortable as the office of the VP, for the VP to use the MDF aircraft? At any stage, did you advise him whether it was right for him to use the MDF aircraft or not? Did you, as an office, conduct any due diligence on the use of the aircraft to ensure that his safety was guaranteed?
Thank you very much. I think on that one, it's like another mode of transport, commercial, or the one that we chartered. In our office, we believed that the planes that were being given to be used by the Vice President were in good condition. That was our belief, and we believe so because it's from the Malawi Defense Force. On doing due diligence on the aircraft, Honorable Chairperson, on that one, we have never done that, but it's our belief that the MDF, if they are releasing that plane, it means everything is okay, and we believe so. Thank you, Chairperson.
Lelonge.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairperson. Just a quick one, and I just want the name again. We seem to have some questions on the money that was received for condolence. So would you mention again the name of the person who received the money? We may need to have that on file. I think the other questions I wouldn't ask you because you were not there at that time, you were traveling. So I think I will keep the other questions for the one who was in the office. Thank you, Chair.
There's Kasina, and then we wind up with Zomba, City South.
Thank you, Chair. When you asked about the manifest, you have promised that you were going. There were two lists on the people who were supposed to travel on that plane, and you have promised that you are going to provide before this committee. So I wanted to find out, when are you providing this list? Because maybe we might have some questions out of it. Do you have it now?
Can you switch on your mic?
Sorry, Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, should I respond to these two? Yeah, I would start with the name of the person that received the money from our office. Is the personal secretary, Irene Gangire. No, Irene Gangire or Dauda, Mrs. Dauda. That was the person who received the money in the morning. And the other question is on the two lists of manifests. Yes, I would explain why there were two lists of manifests. The first one, you know, those aircrafts, they carry about 16 passengers normally. So the first manifest had a lot of names, and the other one, it had just a few names, those who were there. Because we were told that the plane that you conveyed the late Vice President is the same plane which carried the remains of late Laf Kasampara. So the seats in that plane were removed some to accommodate the coffin. That's why the number changed. Thank you, Chairperson.
Yes, go on.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, thank you so much, Chair. I wanted to supplement a question on what you raised with reference to due diligence of the status of the aircraft. But two, I wanted, as an office, that's a military plane, but for like the airports, do you also do due diligence to assess the status of the airports before the VP goes there? That's number one. Number two, Chair, I wanted to understand, one, if all the members that were on the list of the 16 member list, if all the members were from the Vice President office, or if they were from other offices. And probably, if you may remember, the criteria that was used to reduce the list, I submit, Chair. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
I wanted to extend and submit what I asked, because you're saying you're going to provide it today. At what time? Because this is the time for you are supposed to submit evidence. So we're going to submit it when it's gone. Who is going to speak to that list when you just submit when you have gone? I thought you were supposed to bring it. And those 9 names, were you the one who take out from the 16 to come to 9? Who produces that number?
So maybe just to reassure,
and who told you that the number should reduce from 16 to 9? That communication came from who?
So there's like I say now, we're interviewing Lucky Sikwesi, the principal. So there may be some questions we may need to follow up with the principal secretary who was in charge. Okay, so we will ask them that this information must be provided as soon as possible, so that if there's anything else we want to ask from the manifest, we can ask the principal secretary then. Okay, so for the sake of progress, we would like to conclude. Let me ask Zomba City South.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Isaiah is the PS administration, and therefore I wanted to know what is your role in case the office of the VP is involved in legal matters. You are for administration, and therefore I wanted to know what is your role in case the office of the VP is involved in legal matters.
You may answer that last question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Committee members. All legal issues to do with the government departments, ministries, including our office, we refer them to Minister of Justice. We provide the information to them, and they're the ones who carries everything. So as the PS admin, I ensure that I furnish with the Ministry of Justice all the information that is required so that they handle the issue on behalf of our office. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
On due diligence, Chair. The question on due diligence of airports.
There was a question on due diligence of the airports.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Yeah, on the due diligence on the airports, normally when the VP is traveling, even locally, there are security personnel who go to those airports and check. It's just security. They are the ones who are deployed in those airports, and they do their own things. And they report accordingly to the guard commander the safety issues at that airport. Otherwise, for us, it's just technical. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
So at this material time, was the VP security at Mzuzu Airport? At what time were they at Mzuzu Airport? Did they guard? Did they inspect the airport?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Committee members. Yes, our security people were there at the airport in the morning. They go there to inspect and check the surroundings. Thank you.
I think we've had more than an hour. The temptation is we may carry over and spill over, but I think we have the principal secretary coming in. So if there are any other lingering questions, let's take them forward, bring them forward to Lucky Sikwesi when he comes. But I would like to appreciate the time you've spent with us and the responses you've given us. You've shed more light on your role and the chronology of events and any circumstances that were available at that material time. So we'd like to thank you for making yourself available. If you have any other comments to make or anything you haven't said that you would like the members to know, you can express yourself.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson and Honorable Committee members. I don't have any other additional information to share with this committee. Thank you very much.
You may take leave. The Board of Water is yours. Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome to MPUNGWE-PUNGWE YouTube channel. Subscribe for you to enjoy more of our videos anytime we upload.